All right, everybody. If you're watching this, I want to thank you. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. So today, furthering my um, videos, where I go over 5 horror films I think are underappreciated, underseen, or undervalued. And today I got 5 more. And like I said at the time, I don't like to overtalk things. Um, Things that aren't that complicated should not be overly complicated or made to be complicated. So let's just jump right into it. And the first movie is, George Romero, the late director, is known for his zombie films. And rightfully so. That was his first big break. His zombie films, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead are not probably, 3 of the most significant zombie films and horror films, just in general, to ever exist. So it's not without merit that he's known for his zombie films. However, for me, the Romero films I hold personally dearest in my heart will be Monkey Shines, a movie that I love and I saw when I was very young. And to this day, I'm a big fan of. Um, Crazies, another film I saw probably too young, but Creep Show, one of my probably with Trick or Treat, probably 1 and 2 with horror anthologies. Creep Show, depending on what day you ask me, might be number 1 or it might be number 2. And there's another film of his, a non-zombie film that he made that I saw that, while not on the same par as them, I think is a great film. Truly remarkable, really just well done, and that's Martin. Now, what I love about this movie is Martin, title character, is a vampire. Maybe. See, the film is always ambiguous whether or not Martin is actually a vampire or is it all just in his head. When he drinks blood, and he does drink blood, but he does it by cutting people's, their arm or whatever with a razor blade. Doesn't have fangs. He can walk around during the day. He basically has no drawbacks from being a vampire. Now, he does have flashbacks and memories from a past life from hundreds of years prior, but we don't know if that's real, if that's just made up, if that's all in his head. We don't know. But, and spoilers alert for the movie. So you want to go ahead about 30 seconds. But at the end, he goes to live with his uncle. And uncle tells him if he kills anyone where they live, he will effectively end him. And what he wound up doing is putting a stake into his heart, which, as Dracula said in Hotel Transylvania, who wouldn't that kill? So we never are really given a definitive answer. Was he a vampire the whole time, or was he not? And the story is so well done. It's the characters in this film are amazing. It's just such a great, well-made film. And the ambiguity of it throughout its runtime, I think what really makes it special, because we never know if Martin's a real vampire or not. So, George Romero's Martin, needs to be seen more. It is a phenomenal film. Next is a movie. People describe films as lucid dreams or dreamlike films. And I think, I don't know if it's overused, but I think sometimes it may be somewhat overly said about certain films that they're dreamlike or like it being in a lucid dream. This film, I think, is truly like that. It is like being in a dream. It's the unreliable narrator. It is such a dreamlike film that. Anyway, let's scare Jessica to death. I read somewhere, and I don't know if this is true or not. I'm assuming it is. At one point in time, Stephen King said this was one of the scariest movies he's ever seen. It's kind of like Martin, very ambiguous, because Jessica just came home after spending some time in like a recovering in a mental institution. So all these things are happening, and she starts saying, this is going on, and people are like, Jessica, you're just going, you're just relapsing. It's not really there, or it's not really happening. Um, but that's a good movie. It is a little older. I think it's in the 70s. It was made. Yeah, 71. So it is somewhat dated at times, but that doesn't that is still a wonderful film. Doesn't get talked about enough, especially talk about those dreamlike, lucid films. This is, I mean, obviously, 1971. You're talking quite some time ago. This is a film that needs. If you like those type of films, you have to see this. It is a beautiful film. Next is a movie that's very special to me. Um, it is the directorial debut of one of my favorite actors. Not only that, it tackles a subject that I'm very strong on, and that is the dangers and issues with religious extremists, and how it can affect families, how it can affect people, and it can lead to a lot of problems and issues, and just the way this movie is so good. And again, I this was kind of this wasn't planned, but this is another movie that's throughout the majority, actually throughout 99% of it, is super ambiguous. It is left up for interpretation. And the ending kind of, I would say, makes everything somewhat of reality. But before that, the majority of the film is ambiguous. You don't know what's real, what's not, if it's all in their head. But the movie I'm talking about is Frailty, directed by the late, great Bill Paxton. Gone way too soon. But the majority of this film, and if you don't know, it's about dad. And one day he wakes up and he goes to the boys and says, "Boys, I got a message from God." And they're like, "Okay, great, fantastic. What did God say?" He said, "I am his warrior, and I need to go around killing people who are really demons in disguise." And one of his kids is like, "Yeah, Dad, let's do it." But the other kid is like, "What? We're doing what again?" He's like, "We'll go around. I had the vision. I had this vision, and now I have the vision to see who's really a demon and who's really a human. And I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna kill all the demons. And like I said, the one son's all on board. He's like, "Yeah, let's do it. My dad's a hero. I love him. I love this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna fight, kill all these demons, send them back to hell." And the other son is like, "You're insane. You're insane, and I'm not on board with this whatsoever." So, and Matthew McConaughey, who's a fairly young version of himself, is in the back of a cop car, and he got arrested for, continuing his dad's mission. He's telling a cop about, what they saw and what happened and how it all came to be. He kind of like, narrating the story. And then, like I said, throughout the majority of the film, you're left to ponder, is he really insane, or did he actually get a message? And the ending kind of kills the ambiguity of it, but it's still a great film. It is so good. And to see Bill Paxton and the struggle he has trying to convince his sons that this is what is truly his mission is just so good. It's so fantastic, and it's such a great film. It's so worth seeing. If you haven't already, um, this is just damn. It is dark, and especially involving kids with helping a dad kill people. I mean, it's dark stuff, but it's so well done. It's so well made. It's worth seeing. Filthy. If you haven't seen it, I mean, just fix that as soon as you can. Next is a movie by one of my favorite trios: director, actor, and actress. And all of horror. This trio, I think, can do no wrong. All their films have been amazing. All their films have just put a smile on my face. And this is one of his more underrated ones. The ones that kind of the one that kind of went under the radar. This director, I would say, just collectively, his work collectively is so undervalued and underappreciated. He really deserves to be up there, spoken with Romero and Carpenter and Craven and Wan and the greats. He deserves a seat at that table. And that director is Stuart Gordon. And this movie, in particular, is Castle Freak. So essentially, Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Gordon play this couple, and they go with their son to this castle he got through inheritance through a great uncle or something, and they go to live there, and it's in this real this ancient part of the world, and they go there, and at first it's a dream come true. I mean, your own castle. But they realize that this humanoid thing lives there, or resides within the castle, and it's just insane. It's gory, it's over the top. It's classic Stuart Gordon, but it's such a good movie. It's so worth seeing. I love this film. um Castle Freak is and it's all the and it actually is a H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. It's not as out there as like Reanimator or From Beyond or Dagon, but it's still really fun. It's a cool little kind of monster movie, but with Stuart Gordon behind the camera, and Combs and Crampton I mean, what more could, what, I mean, really? I mean, that those three don't sell you. I don't know what else to tell you. It's just a great film. Um, so yeah, Castle Freak. And the last one. Hmm. I wanted to do this one because I heard they're actually gonna remake it to a show. Everything being remade into a show now. Um, I wish they wouldn't, but you know, that's just Hollywood. But this movie in particular is one that's very special to me. It's one of my favorite films. I myself love a horror noir detective films. I'm former law enforcement, 5 years. So those films in particular I like more than just about anything else. But this one, I mean, what a cast! Robert De Niro, Mickey Rourke, and a very grown up Lisa Bonet. Matter of fact, this movie caused Bill Cosby to cut ties with Lisa Bonet. He stopped talking to her. He rejected her. I'll tell you why. So the movie in question is Angel Heart. So, but essentially, what happened in this movie, Lisa Bonet stars, and there's a scene where there's a very graphic sex scene. Bill Cosby, ironically, um, was very protective of his brand. He didn't like the people he worked with to be overly vulgar or sexual or anything like that. When she did this movie and she had that sex scene, he kind of cut ties with her. But the movie itself about this detective, private investigator, I should say, Mickey Rourke, and he's confused and doesn't really know what's going on. And Robert De Niro plays this guy who hires him for a job. And he appears to be this very affluent, wealthy, charismatic um, gentleman with this, you know, lots of cash at his disposal. And so he hires him to find this man. He's like, hey, this man owes me money or owes me a debt. I need you to find this man. And so Mickey Rourke goes on this, you know, goes looking for him. And just the journey he goes on, the imagery and just the things that you see in this movie are so amazing and so eerie and creepy, and it's the simplest things and just make you feel so, give off such a unsettling um feeling that you just like something isn't right, and it could be something completely benign, but it just something isn't right about it. And I mean, this is Mickey Rourke at one of his best um roles, and this is Robert De Niro, who we find out is actually the devil, and he plays it so well. And this movie is so great. I love this movie. Angel Heart needs to be seen. It needs to be loved. It needs to be more widely talked about. But anyway, those are the 5 films I have for today. All of them deserve to be seen. All of them are classics in my opinion. And all of them are so good. It's so fun. It's so different. Like I said, even like I said, there's a connectivity between Martin, Let's Scare Jessica to Death, and Faculty as far as like, or even Angel Heart. Really, all of them have a lot of a lot of what's going on is kind of ambiguous and kind of you don't really know what's going on and you don't know exactly what's happening. But yet they're still different. They're very different in how they're structured in their story and their characters. So all these movies are great. All the movies deserve to be seen, and um, I recommend all of them very highly. And so yeah, well, that's my video for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be doing more movies as time goes on. I'm excited about talk about more movies, and I might do some like films by themselves. Talking about certain films that I really love, doing a whole video dedicated to them, breaking down what I love about it, going more in depth, more into the story itself, just doing a lot more. But for now, we're going to do this. Just my 5 recommendations. And like I said, these movies are amazing. They are so well done. They are so fun to watch and well made. Even though some of them are a little bit older, like Martin, I think was made when it had to be maybe the late 70s, early 80s. I know for sure. Yeah, Martin 77. This guy Jessica Death was 71, I believe. Castle Freak, I know had to be in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, 90, is that 19, kind of small, 96. Angel Heart, same thing, late 90s. Fairy Tales, early 2000s. So, this classic films made in, amazing times in horror. Um, so these are all worth seeing, all worth checking out. Please go support physical media, support horror, and do yourself a favor and watch these films. You won't regret it. But anyway, guys, till next time, thank you. Be safe.